Hello, everybody. I just want to say thank you for being here with me. I am going to reintroduce myself really quickly because it's been a while since I have consistently been posting videos. So, hello, my name is Shannon. If you already know me, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am a contemporary trained shamanic practitioner. So, I work with the shamanic traditions of healing, the healing arts. I was trained specifically in Celtic shamanic practices, but then I use the word contemporary to just indicate that we do live in a time where everything kind of bleeds together. You know, we are all so interconnected. And so my work is not just for those of Celtic descent, it is for anyone and everyone who is called to healing work. I focus specifically on womb shamanism and star shamanism within my practice. So I connect in with the star energies, star beings around us, the information that we can receive from the stars around us, which is amazing and huge and there's so much information out there. The stars have so much to share with us, and it is so much fun to connect with them and also to work with clients to connect them into their star energy. That's one of my specialties. And my other specialty is womb shamanism. So I have had a long journey working with the womb, working with sacred sexuality, working with the body, and specifically, of course, feminine, since I'm talking about womb. And this is something that I teach to clients now. I have lots of options available to connect in with your womb with me. I teach the importance of connecting into the womb physically, spiritually, energetically, emotionally. And I also teach what I have been asked to call they call them the 12 rites of shamanic womb alchemy. And these are ancient rites from ancient Avalon that were regifted to me in 2022. Um, they to share with the world now. So they are not new, but they are not known by anyone besides me anymore. They are ancient rites that were re-given to me in my journeys to share with the world. So these rites open our womb up to greater life force, greater creativity. They are also incredible for healing our womb and connecting our womb into her true power, which is to be connected with the earth and the cosmos, to be connected, grounded into the earth, and channeling from the cosmic womb, the cosmic mother above us. So that is just a brief introduction of my work and what I do. Who I am is someone who absolutely loves healing work. I am here to be of service in the world, and that is truly what I have felt in my bones from a very young age, like knowing I wanted to help other people and share knowledge and pass on knowledge. And so I went through a deep healing illness initiation experience that brought me into my shamanic work. And when I went through that, that was such a clear call into learning energy work and then into the shamanic path. And my soul is just like, oh, this is what I've been asking you to do since you were a child. That's what it felt like to me. Like, oh, okay, this is what I'm coming home to. This is what I've been preparing for from a very young age, to serve other people, to bring this healing work into the world, and to just to do everything I can to make this world just a little bit better, even just a little bit better when I leave it. So that is who I am, why I'm here, why I'm doing this, why I'm talking to you. So I'm going to start this little series. I'm not sure how long it will go, honestly. It could be a few videos, it could be lots of videos. But this series is, I'm going to talk through some of the biggest lessons I've learned in the last couple of years. I've had a really, really interesting 2 years. Some of the biggest initiations and deaths of my life have happened in the last 2 years. I have really like gone through a lot of figuring out who I am and what I want to do, like how I want to keep offering my work, how it needs to shift and change, coming into greater integrity, greater truth within myself, and therefore greater integrity and truth within all of my offerings and how I help those who come into my world. And so I'm going to share some of the big lessons I've moved through and some of the things some of these I'm still moving through. But some of the wisdom that I have learned that I know is not just for me to like I know that I learn things and I first learn them for myself and I embody it for myself. And this is how my learning process has always gone. I learn it for myself, I go through it, I embody it, and then I share it. And so I'm going to share things where I'm ready to share it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the spiritual nature of weight loss and body image and body health. And I'm going to start this by saying, if you've been in my world for a long time, I am going to say right now, if you've been in my world and heard me talk about, I haven't talked about this a lot, but a few times in the past, talk about food and body and all this stuff. I was wrong. I was wrong in some of what I've said. And the thing specifically I'm thinking about, and I know I only said this a few times, but there may be some people here who were around when I was playing into this belief and really working with the energy of this. I remember saying, if you ate a donut and you were in the right energetic place, that donut would be the exact same as eating broccoli. And that's wrong. It's not true. There's a part of it that's true. So I'm not completely wrong, but I'm going to explain what I mean. There's a part of it that is true in the sense that there is no morality to food. There's no good or bad with food, right? A donut is not any worse or better than broccoli. They are so on a certain level. If you are in truly embodying the energetic of all food is worthy, then they are the same. But they are not the same when you think about how they impact our body. And that was what I was also kind of getting at when I originally said that, was, well, they'll impact your body the same, and they won't. That's not true. Not in this world yet. And this was actually a message that I channeled a long time ago. And so I want to explain a little deeper into that. I channeled it. So I was like, okay, this is truth. And here's the thing, what we receive through our channel, and I received this through a channel message many years ago. And I've definitely deepened in my discernment and my ability to discern channeled messages a lot since then. Our channeled messages, they're not always completely accurate for right here, right now. This is something that I really focus on in my shamanic work now, something I really learned during my training. And it makes a huge difference in how I interpret messages at this point, because that channeled message, eating a donut is the same as eating a piece of broccoli, might be true in a certain energetic sense, right? But we cannot forget that we live on Earth. We live in a 3D world. We live in a world where body, like what our body needs, body fuel, calories, like that kind of thing, they exist, and we have not transcended past that. Maybe someday when we're all living in 10th dimensional bodies, because let's just be clear here, like a 5th dimensional body is not going to take you out of this. I work with 5th dimension in my body every day. It doesn't take me out of the physical ramifications of having a body on a 3D earth at this moment. So maybe when we're all living in light bodies, and we can still eat somehow, because that's usually not what you can do in light bodies, but whatever, suspend disbelief, then that channel is true. So there's a place where the energy of that is true. It's not something we take at face value, or we should take at face value in our human 3D life. And I did for years. Honestly, I was like, well, if my intention is good, then the food, I can eat whatever I want. I can eat whatever I want, because the food is just going to impact me how I want it to. And again, we live in a 3D world. We don't live in some perfect, multi-dimensional, like 12th dimensional world. We do live in a multi-dimensional world, but we don't live in like a 12D world where our bodies are basically more light than they're solid, right? So what I eat does impact my body, just like what you eat does impact your body. So there is no morality to the food, but there is a still, like, we can't let go, we can't leave behind the science and the reality of what we are feeding ourselves with. And this is something, God, I'm so passionate about this topic now, because honestly, I I got so confused for so many years in the spiritual space, especially as a newbie in the spiritual space. Before I got to the point where I am now, I'd say several years ago when I was newly connecting into spirituality, and before I necessarily started my own work or anything like that. And I was just kind of watching what other people were doing. I'd see all this stuff where people would talk about, I'm going to take human design, for example. When you connect into your human design, which, if you're not familiar with your human design, it's a system that shows you how energy flows in your body, basically. If you tap into your human design and you truly live your design, you can, you'll eat whatever you want. You'll work out however you want or don't want, and your body will stay fit and healthy and all the things, and you don't have to worry about it. And I'd see all of these human design people saying, as soon as I tapped into my design, I started eating literally donuts for breakfast or whatever, something really sugary and not filling for the body. And I lost all this weight, and here I am. I'm so happy. I'm so healthy. I just got into my human design. That's all I needed. And so all you need to do is get into your human design. And so I was like, okay, all I need to do is get into my human design, and I will just keep myself in this place where I feel really healthy, because my background comes from, I got into spirituality because of illness. So I have a big emphasis in my life on keeping myself healthy. But also I was gluten-free, allergic to wheat for most of my life. So like I was also really restricted in a Lyme diet. I had Lyme disease for years and years and years. And so it was pretty easy to, on a certain level, just I could think what I wanted about food, but I couldn't eat what I wanted. Right. So I could think, oh yeah, okay, well, a donut's the same as broccoli, but I couldn't actually go eat a donut. So it didn't really matter. Right. Um, but then I saw all these like human design people, for example, saying that, or all these other spiritual people saying, yeah, I don't, I don't do anything. I just tap into my intuition and I follow my body. And here's the thing, that might work for some people. It's not going to work for everybody, because those approaches are so limiting, and they only work for people, honestly, who are already really in tune with their body and also don't have like trauma stories or anything going on in their body that is going to keep them from hearing their true body intuitive hunger cues. It doesn't work for the average person, is what I'm trying to say. It's bullshit advice. It's dangerous advice. So I what this comes in for me, when I'm talking about this, is because a few months ago, 6-ish months ago at this point, 5.5, 6 months ago, I decided to go on a weight loss journey, because I realized, you know what, I have actually put on weight and I'm not comfortable in this anymore. My body is not as comfortable as I want it to be. This is not how I want to show up, or this is just my healthiest place, really. And I had to really look at, wow, I thought I was eating really healthy. Like I've always been a really healthy eater. I eat a ton of veggies. I eat a ton of blah, blah, blah. Right. Um, but what I also noticed, and sorry, before that, I also, I had to look at the part of me that was saying, well, I'm just intuitive eating. That's what everyone else says they do. They follow their design. I'm following my sacral design of my human design, right? I'm a manifesting generator. I have sacral authority. I'm following my sacral. My sacral wants that food. I'm going to eat it, right? So I was saying, I'm following my sacral. Why is this not working? And then, and I'm following my intuition. Like I'm so intuitive, and I believe in my intuition. I make a living off of my intuition. Like what is off here? And at the same time, I came from a past of disordered eating. I was a runner, a competitive runner through college, and competitive running breeds a lot of dysmorphic eating and dysmorphic body image. And so healing that, I had gone from really restricting and over exercising to exercising a lot still, but not restricting at all, and thinking I was following my sacral. But what I was actually doing was following my body's trauma. That's why I put on weight. I was following my body's trauma. My body was saying, I need to eat more so I don't get sick. I need to eat more so that I don't become a skinny, underweight runner again. I need to eat more so that I stay alive. And so my sacral would say, yes, give me more of that. give me more, give me more, give me more. And I put on weight because I was thinking, I'm just following my body. My body wants more. But here's the thing, my body was following survival patterns. Our body is intuitive and great, but it's going to try and keep us alive. It's going to try and keep us surviving. And my body has all these patterns, had all these patterns of not getting enough food when I was a runner, illness and almost dying over and over. Like it has all these patterns of I'm about to die. And so now to make sure I have enough fuel to get through another illness, to get through another, big race thing, whatever, even though I don't race anymore, just to make sure I have enough energy for all these things, I need to eat. So my sacral was telling me go eat, right? But my sacral was clouded by my body's survival instincts and trauma. So, in order to lose weight, in order to get my body back to a healthy place, and I'm actually still on this journey. I've lost about 30 pounds at this point, and I'm still on my journey. I am still in a place where I'm prioritizing fat loss and muscle growth because I love to be fit, honestly. And I'm just like, well, I don't feel like my body is at its fittest place yet where I like want it to be. So I'm just continuing going because it feels good, but it's coming from a place of, I want this. It feels really good, not a place of I have to, XYZ do whatever. Otherwise I'm not worthy. And that's the thing. It's not a worthiness thing. It's a health thing. This is how my energy like wants to express itself through me. So I had to really look at my body's survival patterns, and I do actually still. Anytime I hit any kind of like mini plateau, I connect into my body and I'm like, what are we scared of right now? Because it's always something from my body. As soon as I clear the fear, I drop weight again. I drop fat again. Because my body has all these survival mechanisms tapped into it. I have to hide. I have a history of uh, multiple sexual assaults. And my first thing I had to work through in order to drop any weight at all was literally just my fear of getting my body back to a place where I felt healthy and really attractive and all of that again. And the fear that something would happen to me. Like that was my first big block I had to work through. Like, and I already done so much work on my history there in that arena. But this was maybe hopefully the last block that I had to connect with there, where I had to go, wow, my body is so scared that she's going to be like assaulted again if she drops any weight. It was a massive fear. And then I've had fears around my body getting sick again, my body having this fear of, oh my God, I'm dropping weight. What if it means I'm getting sick? I'm sick. It's like, no, you're not, body, but I have to work through it. I have to work through it with my body. And that takes somatic practice. It takes mindset work. It takes belief work, like shifting into weight loss and fat loss and coming into health often means that we have to change our life, change our beliefs, change the beliefs that are underlying what that sacral response, for example, if you're like me with a sacral response, might be telling you to do, because it might not be accurate. It might still be clouded and you didn't even realize it, because I didn't think my sacral was still clouded in that way, but it was, because I'm human, right? So I had to learn. I am continuing to learn. And then the other thing was I actually had to get really comfortable again with the idea that I have to count calories in, calories out. I gotta know, because I have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. There's no other way. And this is something else that was really confusing in the spiritual space to me for a while, like trying to figure out health and body and all of that. Was no one talking about calorie deficit, people kind of almost poo-pooing it. I would see it in some places, not all, but I'm just saying in some places I definitely noticed this. And it made me really resistant to even tracking my calories, tracking what I was eating. And when I started doing it, I realized, oh, I was eating more calorie dense foods than I realized I was. I wasn't paying attention. I'd just be like, oh, that's a small amount, whatever, but it might have been X amount of calories. Like it is, we have to pay attention to the science. We can't just be spiritual and not pay attention to the science of our bodies and where we are. There's truth that exists in both spaces. I do believe that spiritually, weight loss is a practice of unhiding, of letting yourself be seen. And I think that's huge. I think that's really a big part of losing weight. And why we gain weight is because we're hiding from something, like, or we're running away, or we're protecting ourselves. And all three of those things run true for me. And they run true for everyone that I've talked to about weight loss, at least so far, who have been in a place of losing weight or needing to lose weight or being on a place of like, I want to lose weight. Right. Um, so spiritually, we do have to work with that, right? We get to look at that on a spiritual level and be like, okay, how do I shift? How do I shift the mindset? How do I shift my beliefs? But then also, what's the science? What calorie deficit do I need to be in? What kind of training should I be doing? Should I, how can I go in and start resistance training? Am I doing a lot of cardio that's not actually helping me? Like maybe I need to be lifting some weights and doing a little less cardio so I can actually not just lose weight, but lose fat, because that's what makes me healthy. Not just losing weight, it's losing fat, right? I have gone deep dives into all of the science behind how fat loss works, so that I understand what I'm doing scientifically, and I also can work with it on my belief, my mindset, my spiritual level. And we all need to be able to do that if we want to keep our bodies healthy. Whether you have weight to lose or weight to gain, it's the same kind of thing. Like, what are the beliefs? If you had weight to gain, what are the beliefs around being small, right? Oh, I'm really small, so I can't be seen. There's no visibility. I'm hiding away. I'm wasting away. I'm not healthy. Whatever. I'm not sure if any of those resonate, but it could be beliefs like that. Or maybe you need to talk to your body and be like, body, what is the belief that we're carrying around not gaining the weight that we need? And we have to do the belief work, but we also have to do the scientific work. Like, if you need to gain weight, you need to be in a calorie surplus, right? You can't just like willy-nilly hope that you gain weight. You have to do the work to also make sure that you are tapping into the actual physical need. So let me just take a second. Let that all land. Get a couple sips of tea. I'm starting with this topic in this series because honestly, I was so confused about how to keep my body healthy and why I gained weight following the spiritual advice. And it took me really, really tapping back into the true like scientific advice to realize, oh, the spiritual advice is kind of BS if they're not taking into account the actual scientific needs of our body to stay healthy and at a fit weight. And I want to share this because I wish I had known somebody in a spiritual space who was also talking about this when I was starting. I felt so alone. I felt like, oh my God, like I cannot believe that I was so dumb to listen to all these people saying, oh, just follow your human design and you're gonna lose weight if you need to, or gain weight if you need to. You're gonna be in your perfect body if you just follow your human design. And it's like, that's such bullshit. It is. It's terrible advice if you don't know that someone has not deconditioned everything. And the thing is, it takes years and work to decondition, as I call it, in human design. And most people are not there. Even the people teaching human design are not actually at a place of deconditioning, of being fully deconditioned. And it's just, we see this advice. There's a trend of advice in the spiritual world that is shitty advice because it doesn't take into account the human aspect. It just tells you, like, believe this and it's going to happen. And it's like, no, but I'm a human in a body on a 3D world, grounded here. That is not enough. I also need you. I can't just believe my way into things. I also need practical, grounded, real life like steps and advice. And there's such a shortage of that out there. So this is something I've had to decondition for myself over the last 6 months as I've been on this journey. what it looks like to actually be healthy and transform my body into where I want, where I feel comfortable, and what it looks like to bring my spiritual practices into it. Because I have brought spiritual work into it. I have brought belief work and mindset work, and I have brought journey work, and I've brought Akashic work into my weight journey. But those things wouldn't have shifted an inch of fat loss for me if I hadn't also brought in the physical, grounded 3D effect, like impacts, like a calorie deficit. And that is something that I'm really passionate about bringing forward into my work. If you work with me, any container, whether you're in my womb school or my apprenticeship or in my one-on-one mentorship, Ecstasy, I'm going to give it to you straight. If you say to me, hey, I'm dealing with this thing, but this is what I've been getting from my spirit guides about what to do about it, I'm also going to say, what are you doing physically? Let's look at your physical life. Let's look at your belief systems. Because whatever the spirit guides say, it's beautiful, it's important, but it's not going to matter an ounce here if you are not ready to hear it, if you're not ready to put it into action, if you're not taking the steps to put it into action. So that's what this series is going to be about. I'm going to be sharing other things I've gone through in the last couple of years where I've connected into these understandings. So I hope you'll continue on watching these videos as I release them, as I make them and release them. I think I feel complete talking about the kind of spiritual and physical weight loss journey, at least with what I want to talk about now. If you want me to talk more about my experience, I can go more in depth. Please just let me know. You can comment below. Let me know if you'd like me to talk more. But I really wanted to just make this first video about the biggest misconceptions I've seen around weight loss in the spiritual community, which is that you don't have to worry about it. Like, just align your life, align your energy, and you're going to be at your healthy place and with your body and everything. And it's like, that's not true. And I've said that myself too, because I thought that was what it was. I thought that was truth, but it's not truth. It's an idea. And that idea is not enough if you don't put in the action, right? It is true that if you are aligned with, what is good for you and you put the action into it, then you're going to be at your healthy place. But you have to put action in. And alignment is tricky. We're not always in alignment, right? And we can't always be in alignment. So that's why we also have to have action and motivation, or the discipline to create motivation when we need it, determination. So I hope this has been helpful. Much more is coming. Thank you for joining me on this. If you want to work with me in any way, all the links to my website and my offerings will be below. And please subscribe, like, share if this was really helpful. I would love to have a really in-depth, interesting discussion about weight loss and the spiritual path and all of it, because I think I've never seen anyone talk about weight and the body on a spiritual level like this before. And truly, it was the thing missing for me when I started. And I was like, okay, when I'm ready, I'm going to start putting this out there, using my voice and talking about it. So I hope this has been helpful. And yeah, please share and continue to spread the message so more people can hear this if they need it. All right. I appreciate you being here with me. I'll see you in a future video, and I'm sending you lots of love and blessings.